Hey guys, 5 quick tips for success as a seller on eBay. Guys, these are 5 things that my business partner and I absolutely never divert from. These are things that have shown us tremendous growth over the past few years. We kind of sat down and put these together in order of importance, and have absolutely stuck by these things and had great results with this. So, without further ado, guys, I'm gonna start from the bottom and work my way up. So, number five is shipping and handling. Guys, in order to achieve and maintain a top-rated seller status with eBay, I believe 90% or more of your items must have a one-day handling time. I know that, especially if you're doing a high volume of items, that this can be very difficult. But look, for eBay, for buyers, what it boils down to is nobody wants to wait for things that they bought. Nobody wants to wait. I don't want to wait. You don't want to wait. You buy something, you're excited to get it. So, take care when you're packaging your stuff. Make sure you're aware of what the standards are with each given shipping company. A lot of people think that shipping materials, they cost so much, and I'll say bubble wrap is kind of expensive, but all in all, keep in mind that you can get free boxes through the post office. Now you have to order these on USPS.com, but look, they'll deliver free boxes to your house. All you have to do is get online and order them. Flat rate envelopes, flat rate boxes, tubes, whatever it happens to be that you need. You can get free boxes on USPS.com. So keep that in mind. Another quick thing with that is tracking information. Look, guys, if you're not using a service like ShipRush that automatically populates the tracking information to your buyer, do yourself a favor, update that information, add their email address in to the list of individuals who receive the tracking information, and also update it to eBay's system so it's readily available to them. We'll move on from there to number 4. Number 4, research. Guys, do your research. It's so often that I find guys out there, or people out there, I shouldn't say guys, people out there selling on eBay that just put something up and started off at 99 cents and cross their fingers. They don't pay any attention to what time their auction's ending. They don't pay any attention to what the other things that are similar to or identical to it are selling for. You can research. I think it's up to 30. It might be 15 days, but I think it's up to 30 days of completed listings on eBay by itself. There's free applications for eBay research out there for both Android and iPhone. There's paid applications for, again, both Android and iPhone. There's paid service through your Terapeak is one of those places. eBay unfortunately did away with marketplace research several years ago, so that's no longer an option. Do your research. Get out on Google. Type in the make and the model, and then type in eBay. Do as much possible research as you can. And do it based on being competitive. You obviously want top dollar for what you're selling, but you also have to bear in mind that from a buyer's perspective, what they're thinking. I have to get the best possible product for the least possible price, and I want to get it as quickly as I possibly can. So, research, guys. Make sure you're paying attention to what your items or similar items are selling for, and if in fact they are selling. Number three. I cannot put enough importance on this. Pictures. Guys, don't fucking have your kid standing in the background of your pictures for eBay, man. Have some consistency to your pictures. Even if you have to go and get a couple pieces of cardboard and spray paint the back and the bottom of it blue or green or yellow or whatever color you happen to choose, make it consistent. And you don't necessarily have to have that, but have a solid background. Have your pictures consistent. Show as many possible angles as you can. Keep in mind, eBay gives you your gallery picture for free. So you get one picture from eBay for free. Now, pictures through eBay can be a little bit expensive. I think they're like 15 cents a piece. But you can also host your pictures on a free site. I think InkFrog is one of those sites. You can host your pictures on InkFrog and then link your pictures to your listing. So you can have up to 24 pictures. Hell, you can have more than that if you're actually hosting them on a different site. But pictures have a bunch of pictures. Show different angles. The more pictures you have, the less questions you're going to have. The less questions you're going to have, the less time you're spending on that given item. The less time you're spending on that given item, the higher your profit is on that given item. So, pictures. Number 2, guys, communication. Dear Lord, talk with your buyer. I'm a firm believer that openness and communication are and transparency are a way to show who you are as an individual. And who you are as an individual will most certainly reflect on who you are as a seller. A lot can get lost in translation. Some people don't like talking on the phone. Some people are good with the eBay messages. But attempt to do all your communication through eBay if you can. And the reason for that is because if anything happens to go sour, eBay doesn't really like taking, hey, here's an email, this guy sent me an email and threatened that he was going to leave me negative feedback, this is extortion. Well, it's a rare occasion where eBay will actually, take that email from you. But I've heard of it happening before, but, needless to say, communicate with your customers and do it in a timely fashion. Don't leave them waiting 24 hours to hear from you on a simple question, because I can guarantee you this: if they're an interested buyer, if you have a product that they need and they have a question about that product, they ask a question, you answer it in a timely fashion, chances of them buying your product just skyrocketed. Now, on the other side of that, let's say you don't get back with them for a day. Well, let's say there was another eBay seller out there that was selling the same thing that you were. He had the same question. He asked 2 different guys. Well, the other guy answered the question immediately. Who do you think he's going to buy from? He's going to buy from the guy that answered his question immediately. So, communication. Okay, number 1. In my opinion, the absolute most important aspect of being a successful seller on eBay, that was my drum roll, is customer service. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the old adage, and I'm sure you have, the customer is always right. Well, guys, I don't know how else to say this, but whether you like it, whether I like it, whether anybody likes it or not, as far as eBay is concerned, the customer is always right. The buyer is always right. As frustrating as that can be sometimes, usually on a daily basis for me, but as frustrating as that can be, I can assure you that if you can just suck it up and accept that, you'll save yourself a whole hell of a lot of headaches. Customer service, man, you're going to have to do a substantial amount of ass kissing. You're going to have to brown nose. You're going to have to, you're going to have to accept that even when the buyer is being a dick, that you need to bear and grin it. Grin and bear it, whatever. You need to just accept the fact that they're the customer and they feel like they are at You know, they feel like they're fucking Nordstrom's, and they deserve to be treated like they live in fucking Manhattan. It's an unfortunate reality, but it is a reality nonetheless. But regardless, treat your customers good, man. You know, have good customer service. You know, eBay requires in order to keep a top rated seller status, that 90% or more, a minimum of 90% of your items must have a 14-day return policy. Which, look, if you're selling good product, if you don't have anything to hide, that's not a big deal. I mean, I know there's scammers out there. I know there's people that try to screw you, but that's just a part of dealing on eBay. If you want to sell on eBay, if you want to be successful on eBay, you got to take the good with the bad. You know, I've had situations where you know, buyer's remorse. You know, somebody buys something, they get it, they change their mind. It didn't have anything to do with how I described the item. It didn't have anything to do with whether or not the item worked. They just changed their mind. So they call me, and a couple different scenarios have happened. Almost every one you could possibly think of, but I'll give you just two. One, you know, and this has never, ever, ever not worked for me. I think except for, I can't say never, ever, but except for like once or twice, and I'll explain on the opposite end how I went about resolving this. A guy buys something, he decides after he gets it that he doesn't want it. So he contacts me. You know, I provide him with a telephone number. Because in situations like this, I think it's best to be over the phone because it's easier to control the conversation via telephone than it is via eBay message or email. So the guy calls me and he tells me, he says, look, you know, I've changed my mind. You know, I want to return this. You know, most people are reasonable. Not all, but most people are reasonable, guys. And, you know, I've found that if you ask them nicely, you know, would you mind, you know, kind of helping me out here? You know, I want to be able to do everything I can to make this a good experience for you. You know, I understand that you changed your mind, but you know, we're here to help you. You know, would you mind going ahead and covering that cost of return shipping to us? Once we get that back, get it put back into inventory, we'll issue you a full refund. 95 to 98% of your buyers are going to be completely okay with that. Now, on that other 2 to 5% that you're going to have, they're going to have this sense of entitlement that a lot of people have this day and age. That, you know, it's your fault that they changed their mind. It's your fault that they're having a bad day. It's your fault that they're an asshole. And you should not only have to pay for return shipping, but you should have to give them their money back for their original shipping once you get the item back. Well, guys, this is a really rough situation, and trust me, you want to come through the phone with some buyers sometimes, but honestly, what you got to do is, you know, try to plead your case. If they're not willing to listen, and do it in a calm and collective and kind manner, try to plead your case. If it doesn't work, just accept it for what it is. Tell them that you'll go ahead and pay to have it returned to you and that you'll issue them a full refund. But what I would do in that scenario, what I have done, is contact eBay. Let eBay know what's going on. I can tell you on both circumstances that I had where the buyer was just being a complete jerk, eBay actually stepped in and issued them a return label to pay for return shipping. Look, eBay wants these buyers happy, and that's all it boils down to. So eBay will step in under certain circumstances and take care of that return shipping. But look, this is already a 14-minute video, and this is much longer than I intended it to be. Look, guys, those are my top 5 things for being a successful seller on eBay. Let's just recap. Number 5 is shipping and handling. Number 4 is research. Number 3, pictures. Number 2, communication. And number 1, customer service. Customer service. Guys, if you want me to touch more on any one of these given subjects, if you want me to elaborate in any way, message me. Put it in the responses down below. I'm more than happy to elaborate. I've been doing this for a lot of years now. I thoroughly enjoy what I do. and I'd like to think I'm fairly good at it. I know I'm not the best, obviously, but